matchup now on the main stage. eLevate going up against Cloud9. eLevate, they placed top 3 at the CWL London event. Cloud9 obviously second in Vegas. Maven, predictions for this series, where do you see this one go?
I got to think Cloud9's pissed. They bounce back. I think they could steamroll here. I do.
Well, they take a 1-0 lead against Luminosity and then just kind of fall flat from the search and destroy into the uplink and then the final hard point. Let's get into the action though, folks. Game number 1 of our 5-game series. Off the break, we're watching Ace. Who else could you watch in this matchup? It's Cloud9 versus eLevate.
You know, I heard him talking a little bit to a teammate. They were over on the side, some of the side stations warming up. They basically played non-stop between them, just communicating what went wrong. They had some really unclutch moments over the course of the end of those games. They're going to try and bring that back, and they're in the hard point early.
Well, off the bat, you see basically everyone getting cut down quick as both teams trade those engagements. And now Ace and crew will try to retake positioning towards middle map. Some shaky shots there. He'll get cleaned up by a grenade. As eLevate, they have their positioning. I will say this change towards this first hard point with putting it on the rooftop has actually worked out for the better. I think this hill's a lot better to watch from a spectator side and to play for the competitors, as right now Cloud9 are collapsing towards this hard point. They should retake control.
Let's talk a little bit about the Cloud9 team at Vegas. Assault was a monster, right? I think he ended up with the second overall KD, I think just behind Pacento. Had a huge event. But when they were struggling, when they were going to game 5s, when him and Lacefield weren't really having those monster performances, they have a nice start here in this one. How does a team like this survive if their superstars aren't going off?
Well, you saw what happened back in that winner's bracket final, I believe, when those two had a really flat series. For Cloud9's sake, I don't think they do survive when those two aren't going off. Yes, maybe you expect Ake sometimes to not put up the best slaying numbers. Right now, him and Ricky actually combined 2 and 7 to break off this game. But it's simple as that. If Lacefield and Assault do not have monster games, that is where Cloud9 struggle. Simple. Right now, eLevate up 37-15 as Cloud9 retake control of the slow block hardpoint.
Well, they're set up inside. Lacefield looking to get the top window to look over mid-map. You can see by the mini-map, there's everyone pushing from wall run. They're about to get a 4-man hit across, and they're setting up nicely. Ricky hitting one with a grenade, trying to tag them up in the back. Not able to do so, but it's going to be Aches backing him up there with the K-bar, and Lacefield rotates back. We saw him at top window. Now he comes back to help. There's the final kill, and that's going to cement the rest of the time here. So nice closing half to cell block. Now it's all the rotation over to Grave. And
everything we saw for Grave hardpoint so far today on the main stage has been the team that rotates there early, locks down the full 60 seconds. We'll see if that applies now for eLevate. They really don't have the positioning they want in middle map as Lacefield looking to inch on up. Not sure if he's expecting the player to be in this close L area, but he's actually snuck on by, and this could spell disaster for eLevate. Lacefield's now here. Hello, there's the break for Cloud9. Nicely done as they'll look to retake the lead.
Yeah, Lacefield slipping through the cracks there. Certainly a thorn in the side of eLevate. And this is, one of your better money hills if you're looking through the entire hardpoint rotation. You can see some of the cover you can get. That's not an easy kill there. That's actually a big one coming in from Reedy. Pick Lacefield off, but it's Assault backing him up with the NV4. He's got 2, pushing in for 3. He gets him tagged up, but not able to finish it. Can't find the player in the hard point as well. He's almost able to go huge and shut down the entire team himself, but comes up a little short, Jack.
51-49 the score currently. eLevate stopped the bleeding for the moment as they've continued to hold those cave and back helipad spawns, which has been something that has helped them be successful so far on this hard point. And now they'll rotate towards commissary with basically everybody in the position they exactly want to be in.
Yeah.
Nearly a nice 2-piece there for Watson. He'll get cleared on out, but hey, that's fine. They're ready for this new hill of comps.
And this is where, it's a key rotation where you're pretty much holding the same spot, right? You want to lock down kind of helipad and scanners, make sure you cut off those angles, and they're set up in a nice position to do it. Now it's going to be those blue arrows on the minimap trying to get the break, but Zed set up in a nice corner, finds 2 easy ones, good positioning from him as he shuts down the first rotation from Cloud9, not able to find the third, and Aches inside.
eLevate, they were great at hardpoint at the CWL London event. The only teams they lost to were the top 2 teams in the region in Orbit and Splice. Outside of that, though, nearly untouchable against everyone else they faced, and they're showing off their strengths in it right now. What are we seeing? On rotation, they're winning the first couple engagements to give them a good chunk of time, but the big thing is these spawns. They have been locking them down for the last 2 hills, and it's earned them a 50-plus second lead. At the end of this first rotation, it is Cloud9 getting decimated.
And what's going on right now with Cloud9? I mean, We know they started a little bit slow in Vegas. Remember, TK kind of came back, pushed them to the Game 5. They didn't really have that strong of a start. We know it was a lot of Game 5s for them to move on throughout the course of Vegas. Well, what's going on, man?
Same thing we saw for Allegiance. When you have two players going double negative in a respawn, you cannot afford to have it happen, especially how there's less engagements now in hardpoint. So every single one is more important. Those double negatives, that comes into play on rotation when you're trying to lock down a spawn. And that is just not a spot you want to find yourselves in. You can easily come back in this game if you just get a little bit more from Ricky and Aches. And Ricky has now started that on a 5 streak. 1 kill now off his final score streak. This is where Cloud9 begin to claw back into things.
Well, like you said, has a trendy. Let's see if he can get the bombardment. Holding the corner here, just picking up the time. 75 off right now, and they're bringing it back. Just trailing by 20 points. You can see on X-Ray, he's got a couple out in front. His teammate's doing a really good job covering, and he's got the gunny there. He's able to pick up one at long range, and there's the full streaks.
Beautifully done. Look on your minimap as well. Assault watching that outside graveyard lane. They've got the wall run covered as well. Cloud9 now beginning to play like the team you expect them to look like. They'll begin to fall on back, lock down these back garage spawns. Let's swap over to Assault, as he's going to be the one trying to potentially hold this for his team. And there's the 2-piece you wanted to see. Assault at 14-9.
You need a huge performance from him, and you're getting it. He's aware there's one up top here. This would be a big one if he's able to shut it down. The NV4 is on point. Make it 4 in a row here for the young gun Assault. You see on X-Ray everything coming towards him, somehow still staying alive, taking some shots. Finally will fall, and this is a good opportunity for a push from eLevate.
It took 3 players to kill him after all of that. Cloud9, they've now had themselves 2 good hard points. Now the pressure does come in. Lacefield with 1, Aches with 2, make it 3, and now I'm seeing bodies get shot as 4 go down again from eLevate. Aches making his presence known, and what did I say? When Ricky and Aches begin to pull some weight, that is where they'll come back into things. They both go on 5+ streaks, and now look at the lead they have because of it.
That's all you needed, and that's back-to-back cell block hard points where you really get the better half of that from Cloud9, and now they're looking to break in. That's 2 early entry kills. The bombardment comes in as Ricky's able to find Zed, and now the break. Ricky's looking to watch the backside and make sure they maintain the back. Perfect job as he's able to find Shawnee. And I believe there's one more coming through back helipad.
Look at the scoreboard right now. A combined, what is that, a combined 12 streak for Cloud9? Make it 13. They're taking over this game. And this Cloud9 team, once they get in the groove that they want to be in, it's what got them top 2 at Vegas. They know where they need to be. They have the great leadership that you want on the squad, and they absolutely have the gun skill led by Lacefield and Assault. They're showing their strengths right now.
And I like that you mentioned that. You know, as much as we're talking about Ricky and Aches, kind of what brought this team alive here as they started to pick it up. Props to Ricky and to Lacefield and Assault kind of keeping him in it to this point, right? It was a very tight game. They had to carry the load early, and now everybody coming alive is Ricky able to swoop in from behind and find one.
I talked to Clayster actually about who he thinks the breakout stars of Infinite Warfare will be. Yes, we saw Assault and Lacefield really begin to make a name for themselves last year in the CWL, but he says this is the year they cement themselves as 2 in the best in the game. They're showing it right now in this first hard point. Still an absolute game that eLevate could come back in. They're only down by 40, but they need to begin to turn things up right now. Watson, 9 and 17. You need more from one of your main slates.
You want to hear something funny that surprised me? You know how you were knocking me a little bit for saying that I thought Assault might be one of the best young player in the game?
Yeah.
The next big thing, when I asked Aches, I did not expect him to say a teammate, but he said Assault. He said Assault is a freak. This is his breakout year where he's going to take over. We thought it was last year. He's expecting even bigger things this year.
And guess what? If he does, that only cements Aches' legacy even more by helping build him into that legendary player. eLevate, okay, they do get the break towards comms. They need the scrap time, though. 20+ seconds that they can earn would bring them back within about 35. And that's where we'd be at the end of the first rotation, too. So they wouldn't have been too far out of sorts from what we saw from earlier on. Yes, the score swung just a little bit, but they're keeping it close, which is a big thing.
Hey, talk to me a little bit about Shawnee, what you saw in London, because I was talking to Benson, and he was saying how some of these guys, especially for a young player like Shawnee, sure, you've played in some events in Europe. This is the biggest event of your life, right? When you're coming here, there's nothing like having the camera in your face at an MLG event. What about him has impressed you, and do you think he has what it takes to step it up here in a big way at MLG?
Shawnee, for me, is like the neutral good on this team. He's the guy that has 3 hotheads around him in Reedy, Zed, and Watson. 3 emotional players. And Shawnee's job, as time will go on, will be to balance this team. Right now, 1.5 minutes inside the objective, he's just doing what he can to let these 3 explosive players around him feel as comfortable as possible. He is the guy that will be like the karma of this team, where it's just, let me just get the job done that's needed to be done to help my team to win.
Well, they need that help because it is close now, trailing by 5. Look at Lacefield here and loading, trying to tag up one. They're going to bottom hut, but he is picked up from behind. And who else was it? Shawnee, pick it up 2. Answered quickly, though, by Aches and Assault. Is Cloud9 trying to lock down these final 10 points before we rotate out? Look at the minimap there. Look where the spawns are coming in for eLevate.
And there's the new buff to the ERAD that just makes it so darn good from that mid-range. Reedy at times at the CWL London event looked very flat with this weapons in his hand. He wound up switching between the AR and the sub a little bit. Right now, it looks like the submachine gun has started to work for him. eLevate back within 10. This time, it's Cloud9 having to fight for these spawns. And look at your map, it's Watson about to flank 3.
Well, let's see if Watson can find the kills. Reedy trying to get it done here with the Scarab as he's going to wrap in kind of from behind. Watson, though,
this is huge.
These kills are massive. 1 to his right. Should end up right behind him, you sneaky fella. There's the 1 kill. Can he find more trailing in from the back? You see on X-Ray still a couple of Cloud9 players inside, but now's when the pinch needs to come. They're pushing from every angle. He knows one's in the right corner, not able to find it. That's actually Ricky coming up huge, finding 2. Reedy trying to get it done. You talked about that mid-range effectiveness of the ERAD, just enough to get one down.
And Cloud9, they're just going to try to contest towards the end of this hard point. You're going to see the other 2 players move towards new, which I think is the absolute right play. Cloud9 will keep this game close. eLevate now back up by 8. You do have 1 Scarab to use now for eLevate, so that will be Reedy using this as the lead blocker. Shawnee, though, who was the furthest pushed up in caves, actually gets cut down. How does eLevate try to play this? Do they go for a pinch? Do they try to muscle their way through? It looks like right now they're going to have to try to send 4 through this medical bay area, and I don't know if this is the right play.
Well, they're trying to push it in. They haven't been able to really find much yet, but it's Shawnee finding 2. The young gun going big, and now it's the overdrive around the back. There's the speed. He's trying to find the kill, able to get him from behind. There's one more rocket. There's 2. As Reedy goes huge. That's not the gun you need for that range, unfortunately, but he still pushes it out. Able to get some hit markers in, but not able to finish it.
Showing the strength of overdrive right there. 233 to 228. They'll shut down the Centurion. 1 final push for Cloud9. Kills being traded now between Ricky and Watson. Still the pressure coming in. Ricky gets 2. Zed with one of his own. I think eLevate are going to do it. In the end, they wind up taking game number 1, 250 to 228. And we watch Reedy, the player who's got all sorts of trash talk for Aches, leading his team. Oh, he's saying you're trash. Oh, please, this is too good to be true.
This is exactly why I've been looking forward to this match. And that's where it becomes interesting. So if he's going to be going off like that, if they win that first game and Reedy's getting into it, talking trash, you do still have some young players like Lacefield on this Cloud9 side. Does that get in their head a little bit, man?
I'm sorry. I love Lacefield's visor. It just says Andy on it. You know that's his. He's got his name right there for you, so you know exactly who we're looking at. Wow, Cloud9 in the end dropped that very back and forth hard point by about 22 seconds, and now we've got ourselves a series.
So, all right, I know Matt thought this was kind of Cloud9's tournament to take. I didn't have quite as high hopes. I think a top 3 finish is certainly possible, but I guess they were surprised with the tournament for me in Vegas. I didn't expect them to get a second place finish. I really didn't. Are you, I guess, shocked that they may start 0-2 in pools? You have to be, right?
100%. Your runners-up starting 0-2 in pools. And then it's a pool as well that you and I both kind of took Luminosity, or at least I did.
I took Luminosity Cloud9.
Yeah, so I was expecting North American dominance. Yes, we saw that from Luminosity against Cloud9, but now Aches and crew struggling just a little bit off the break of this game, and you could possibly kind of attest that to the slow start we saw from the 2 veterans at Aches and Ricky.
And yeah, you saw the frustration there on Ricky's face. Pretty evident how they feel about that one. You could say they sort of let it slip away. I mean, they had control at one point. Not enough, though, to get it done. Need big games from that guy. Assault, the youngster, has to go off. He's the next big thing in Call of Duty. He's got to show it.
Yeah, apparently he's now wearing visors, too. So 2 of the 4 players in this team. Oh, no. Okay, no, the whole team has visors on. Okay, this was definitely something coordinated. Right now, the visor not giving them strength.
I want to talk about how ugly they are, but I'm worried that like one of their like grandmothers made these for them.
And they're just wearing them to be nice. Thank you. You know, one of those where you're like, you get it as a gift for your birthday. You're like,
yeah,
this is what I was looking for.
But no, so far, so good for eLevate. And hey, I've been critical. You know, I was really high on Europe last year going into Champs. I've been critical of them here just because these pools, I thought these pools were a lot scarier than the Champs pools. Not that teams had a free ride, but it was much easier for some of them to move on to top 16 compared to what we have here. The scariest pools I've ever seen. So when I was done with it, I was all North American for the pools for top 2. But right now, eLevate showing me I'm wrong. I like it.
And you see that from eLevate, yes, but you also talk about some of the other matches that have gone on. We saw an upset already for Infused with Rise Nation, where they take that in Game 5. But on the other hand, you have United 3-0ing Orbit, who coming this event are the best team in Europe after winning that CWL London event.
There's two things I kind of want to talk about a little bit. One being United. I'm always the guy that says if you're good online, it's going to show through on LAN eventually. Maybe not right away, but right there, them just beating Orbit in the fashion they did, or does that silence critics? Is like, okay, they're good.
No, I mean, it was funny because the start of today, I mentioned how United, when I sat down and spoke with them yesterday, you know how we all got the opportunity to sit with teams, take notes. The thing I got told by Silly is we have played more than any team. I can say that easily. We've played through 2 people being sick. One of us had to go, had an emergency, all this stuff, and they played through it, not taking a day off. I then check Reddit and someone saying, oh, Courage absolutely clueless. Rustini said in an interview last week that they haven't been playing at all. I heard from them yesterday of how much time they put into this event.
Well, it's showing.
And they're showing it with a 3-0 sweep over the top team from Europe.
They definitely showing it so far. And then another thing I want to talk about quickly while we're waiting for Game 2 to start, I want to talk about the ERAD a little bit. So I've been begging, since the game came out, I really wanted to have like sort of a NV4 2K bar ERAD meta. It's sort of what I wanted it to turn into.
We're getting there.
I like that. It's getting very, very close. But it's surprising me. I said, you know, when we were kind of doing our Castle Roundtables that, you know, with Scump being the greatest SMG player of all time, you think that he would be using it, but he said he just doesn't really feel comfortable with it. Do you think you're going to see some roles change because of how the ERAD is and the fact that the K-Bar is sort of a hybrid weapon?
Yeah, as long as that's around, you're going to definitely be watching a lot of hybrid weapons being played. The K-Bar, at times when you're up close, can absolutely match that of an ERAD. But from a mid to longer range, there is times where K-Bar just beats the ERAD, and that's the difference in those two weapons. It's very situational. I did just receive word from our producer that Infused just beat FaZe in the first hardpoint of their series. So Infused now up 1-0.
Christopher Puckett, the wizard.
Yeah, nothing is making sense right now. It's Cloud9 and eLevate, with eLevate up 1-0, winning map 1 by 22 seconds. Folks, share the stream, use the hashtag CWL Atlanta. Get involved in the conversation. You were replying to tweets about what people think about the studio.
Yeah, honestly, when you take a look at the studio, and when we say that, we're referring to, you know, the kind of the analysis desk has taken on a different role here at this event, right? Because, you know, a lot of people, you would love to have 18 streams. It's not possible necessarily from a budget standpoint, from a talent standpoint, from a lot of standpoints. But having this that's basically have the ability, it sort of reminds you of the XP zone to a degree, able to go into different matches, show you what's going on, highlight open bracket, highlight different streams, and you have talent like that sitting out there, guys that can really break it down, like Teeb.
Handsome talent.
It's been great. I mean, it's absolutely awesome. Shout out to MLG. Been doing one hell of a job so far here at Atlanta.
Those guys at MLG, they're nice guys.
Hey, I guess I'm employed by them. Am I allowed to say that? Hey, good job, MLG. Great job.
Please keep us employed. No, we're getting into Retaliation S&D. My favorite search and destroy map right behind. Actually, after CWL London event, I think I like Crusher the most. I've
always liked Crusher.
I love watching Crusher. Other people probably disagree.
Retaliation's my favorite map to look at.
Oh, it's just Ravage Geneva, as you say.
Oh,
as you always break down.
I read that line far too many times. But here we go. This time it'll be kicking it off with Lacefield. If you're just tuning in, eLevate able to take the first game. In our best of 5. It was a nail biter, but here we go into search and destroy.
Already, Patio controls everything in this S&D, and both teams know that as they flood players towards that top side of the map. This time, though, it's eLevate striking the first couple of engagement wins, and now they look to take map position to be covered because of it. Just like that, Aches 1v4. He should be cleaned up here momentarily. Not quite yet, as he'll play with 1 minute remaining.
See if Aches can work a little late round magic here. He's got 60 seconds to work with. Got Zed, Watson, and Shawnee to go up against. Last thing he wants to do is give this kill to Shawnee, as he's already picked up 2. You can see already a quarter of the way there to his payload ability. But he's got time to work with, but you got to think this is a bit of a stretch. Yeah, with eLevate playing like they are, look at the minimap right now. All 3 players moving, basically holding hands. You want to stay active in these scenarios. If you're new to competitive Call of Duty, you want to know how to play these 3v1s. You don't want to just sit in corners. You want to stay active, take map positioning, eliminate areas he could be in, and there it gets wiped off the map. Round 1 goes to eLevate. That must have been some kind of team shot, because he just disappeared there.
You
see the smiles on the faces of this eLevate side.
K-Bar is good.
They are in control here early. It's now going to be their chance to make some plays on offense. And God, I'm fearing for what Reedy is going to be saying if they keep steamrolling.
Either way, how this series goes, you know how teams go up to each other, you know, say GG, GG. I don't know. I don't even want to know what's going to happen there or what's going to be said. We definitely
slap boxing.
We will not be able to repeat it on stream, that's for sure, as we get into round 2. eLevate now on offense.
Well, it's Shawnee trying to make his presence known across mid-map and the lower street. You can see the bomb carrier he's escorting right behind him here as he's going to hang out kind of under tarps under that broken window. First one to drop, Ricky, Aches, now a 2v4. This is not looking pretty here for the side of Cloud9. Shawnee might be able to tee one up here in a moment. He's got the grenade in. See if he pushes out the kill.
What I find really interesting is there are European teams that will literally play someone in that back broken building, watching a flank every single round and not change up the strategy no matter how much they are spotted. And that's the difference between these two regions. Not sure if Cloud9 knows that exactly. So eLevate, they'll use that for as long as it works in this game. That gives them a 2-0 round count lead as they're still in full command of the series.
Well, that's always been the, if you look globally, right, to the past, if you look back to champs, like where, you know, an Australian team might surprise you, an American team would be in Search and Destroy. Thinking even further back, that was kind of where European teams would get an advantage, maybe in Search and Destroy. It hasn't been as much in this game as it's a lot about effectively trading, but right now, I mean, they're looking to outmatch Cloud9 a bit.
So crazy to think that right now in the open bracket, there are APAC teams grinding it out, trying to make it onto these pool play games. So many competitors here this weekend. What, 500 plus, you could basically say?
Yeah.
Fun to see as now engagement's going down near this lower street right now. It does look like that favors Cloud9 as it's Watson, who is 3-1. Trying to see what he can do in this 1v2 scenario.
What matchup was it? Was it against Orbit in the winners finals when Watson had like 3 different clutches, dropped a bajillion kills? It was sick to see. Let's see if Watson. It was basically him versus Rated in that match. He's done some sick stuff. Can he make it happen here? No.
Not this time.
A little bit of a bait and switch as he gets dropped there on that stairwell.
Not this time. The power of the visors for Cloud9. Take that round for him. As you can see, Salt's hair basically reaching the ceiling.
I had that same problem.
You actually look great, Glenn.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But makeup on,
now the
new bald head.
Now the bald comments make a lot more sense, too.
They really do.
I already was.
They really do.
Less strands.
That's the way to put it, strands. I always used to laugh when you say you went and get your hair cut. It was more
my hair's cut. All right, sniper out. 4 Reedy was going to be effective with it. Hits the edge, but not able to finish it.
And look at that. You can pre-fire through that wall. Aches knows it perfectly. The NV4 is a gun to have there. As finally, Cloud9 will get first blood. And this is where they show their strength. They just back on up. Don't need to over push anything. Don't need to give up a kill. Just play your corners and wait for the play to be developed by eLevate towards a site and then retake it with the number advantage.
Yeah, because if they do look to hit the flank, you know, it's kind of a patience game. You saw Watson was watching to see if it was hit. His patience limited. He now decides he's going to need to make a play as you're getting down to the 45-second mark here in round 4. Finds him at the corner, not able to take it as Lacefield has cover, finds the kill. Shawnee comes in from behind there. Assist on 1, turns to find the second. There was a third there. I think he saw him for a moment. He knows now as he's tagged up, and it's just Ricky now, 1v2.
A perfect bait and switch for eLevate. I don't even think they meant it to work like that, but in the end, it's just one of those awkward spots to be in if you're Cloud9. And just like that, it's Ricky who's sitting at 1 and 3. Looking to see what he can do, as now he's got to defuse this bomb as well.
And again, you see the players sticking together very, very nicely, playing back-to-back here to make sure they can trade this kill. Ricky playing slow. Does he check his corner? He does. He's able to find it. Now it's going to be a 1v1. Oh! The boat, and they're gone. Ricky clutching up there on the 1v2.
Shawnee has no opportunity to respond as Ricky will give some life to this Cloud9 team. Much needed, if you ask me, as now it'll be a 2-2 game instead of what could easily be 3-1 in favor of eLevate.
We'll see if that's one of those kind of momentum builders, right, that gets the team going. You saw them start to come back in that last game when Ricky and Aches came alive. Maybe this is what they needed, because you saw they just looked dead kind of after that first game, right? Just seemed sort of out of it. Now, maybe they can bounce back, and now it's going to be offense here.
I think the crazier part of that is he does it with an NV4 from that close.
Right.
Hits all of his shots. And again, Cloud9, they're just giving up this top patio control, which I'm still not too sure of. They know that this is a weakness currently in their setup, but eLevate actually don't even push it. They're just going to go ahead and try to get on through to the Cloud9 spawn, and Assault just needs to play his life more than anything.
The fact that he stayed alive this long, I was watching it on the minimap as he was getting pushed, did what he could there. I mean, he had 3 basically flying out the back, and now it's going to be on the rest of his teammates to try and get this done. Looking at Aches, who's watching top side. Nothing doing on that end. He should be able to find one in the corner here, but it's him by himself, and that was just a 4 up, 4 down. eLevate ran the train. Good
recovery for eLevate. Now, I was critical of them not taking patio control, and it's because the better play they had in mind was push out the one man who watches the flank. How much have I talked about the flank and how these European teams put so much pressure on it and thought to it on a map like Retaliation. There, they just send the whole team at Assault and just overwhelm them, and that really collapses the setup for Cloud9 as eLevate do get the bounce back round they needed.
Yeah, if Assault's able to find a kill or two there, it plays out very differently. But the Swarm proves too much. You saw him kind of trying to dip and dive behind that tank, find an angle. Ultimately proved to be too much.
And how much do you think it affects, too, where they see Assault prior to that round sitting at 0-3 to say, you know what, let's go ahead and challenge him, but he's not really feeling himself at the start of this game.
We talked about the fact that they need him in a big way to have huge games. Shawnee had that really nice start, so he's already worked out to get that Centurion. Watson now going to be playing patient here. He'll be the one, I'll say, sort of watching the flank, but they're playing actually towards A right now, so actually be Reedy on the other side. They'll be watching the flank until they wrap back. So now it looks like the wrap's going to happen. The hit is going to come. There's 2 players for Cloud9 playing inside a bedroom as they inch their way forward.
Reedy will be the first one to try to make a play happen towards this market side, and somehow Cloud9 don't have anybody here, so Reedy should see the first one. Just hold this angle.
Oh my
shots.
Lord, the head of Ricky just destroyed.
That's why you use the NV4 in Search and Destroy, kids. Bomb planted. There's a second kill for Reedy. Oh, this guy's matching the pressure he needs to. Third player challenging. Bye-bye. Reedy going for the ace. There's the round win for eLevate. They could easily be up 5-1 right now, and Maven, we're seeing some EU dominance on the main stage.
And that's what's God, when we talked about this matchup, it was like, if Aches gets out to a good start and is being chippy kind of at Reedy, maybe he tilts him. It's the total opposite right now, though. Reedy has a nice start. He's going to be the one shouting, getting inside of Aches' head, getting in the young players on Cloud9's head. This looks good for eLevate, man. Looks very, very good.
I've received another update. I have my hands on my head. The Europeans are showing up. 3G right now take map 1 against Luminosity as they look to now cause another upset in their pool. This is what we wanted to see. This is why we've been pushing Europe versus North America.
It's the best storyline we have this year, right? There's been so much trash talk, so many rivalries being born. It's been amazing to see. We'll see if EU can keep it going, but a very strong start here to Friday. But if you're just joining us, eLevate has a 4-2 advantage right now on Cloud9, the Search and Destroy, a 1-0 lead in the series. And we are on board with Zed, who is at risk of being picked up, destroys the van, though, goes to push it out. Hello, friend, able to find it. Also has kinetic if he wants to use it. There's the bomb!
Oh my God!
He hits every bike in the room.
They all need their tires refilled now, as it will end after all that in a 2v2. No one actually really comes out on top. As now you see Watson again, this flank, it is always on their mind. Lacefield 7-5, his duo in Assault 0-6. And time is ticking down. This is another round that eLevate should take.
He just doesn't have time to work with. They're going to check this. He's going to get caught planning. It should be over momentarily. He gets tagged up and he's gone.
Wow.
1 round away from a 2-0 edge. What was your first update? It was Infused took the first map.
First phase. 3G take the first map versus LG.
And a 2-0 lead possibly here for eLevate. So this is a nice little 30-minute stretch here for EU fans.
That's all you give them, a 30-minute stretch?
Well, I mean, these updates, so this has been a brilliant stretch of games.
It's just funny you say that. The other 72 hours of the weekend goes to North America, but this 30 minutes EU, we're just having a blast.
It is a very strong time right now, and that's what I was saying. Like, I don't even care how they do in pool play. If they come out top 2, great. I want to have some deep matches with NA versus EU all the way to Sunday. That's where it matters.
The one thing I will say is that Cloud9 have not commanded any map control in this game. They have played so passive near the hotel, and it's given eLevate free plants in almost every offensive round. They're looking to punish them again for it, as now it's going to be a 4v4 retake. How can Cloud9 do, as this could mean disaster in this game?
Yeah. This has not been the Cloud9 team we expected. They continue to struggle throughout this series, but Assault finally gets on the board. Maybe that's what he needs to get something going. Lacefield going to find one as well. It's going to be on Reedy and Watson to try and make the clutch here. 20 seconds to work with. Now, all just on Reedy. With the time, he might be, if he gets that, he only needs to find one more kill if somehow he's able to get away at overdrive too.
All right, Cloud9 will stay alive. Now 5-3, as Aches will go for that defuse. Aches 3-7. Assault doesn't go 0-7, which is key. I know all about going 0-7. Didn't happen to him there.
Well, it's like every round, you know, just you think about it more and more and more as you continue to struggle and not find a kill. So just getting that monkey off the back, finding that one kill. perhaps gives them something here to work with. Shot there of the eLevate side. They look locked in. They look focused. They want to close out this game too.
I just want to see what Reedy does. After game one, he's putting down everything and walking over towards the Cloud9 side and yelling, "You're trash" to Aches. What did he have to go after they go up 2-0?
Yeah.
Where does he go from there?
I'm excited.
Does he have confetti?
Well, look how aggressive he is with the ERAD. Just not enough to get it done, but surely they know the pressure is coming. You cannot let him get a kill there after seeing him get those shots there from scaffolding. But the kills do get traded back and forth. Now going to be a 3 versus 3 here, Jack.
And what do eLevate begin to do the second that they need to make a play happen? They shift a little bit of focus towards the other side of the map. And now they're going to be the ones, again, forcing the action. Assault, though, at this point, this is where you need to see the veteran team.
He's got help, though. He's got help.
But this is exactly what Cloud9 need to do. They begin to read this play. eLevate, they're so linear in the way that they play. It's like, okay, we go for the flank if we need to. And they've shown it so many times this game that Cloud9 are now beginning to pick up on it.
Well, Shawnee did find one in behind. Assault was there to trade it out. Now it's all on Watson. Make it a 1v1. This could shut it down. Watson versus Lacefield gets picked off. And now we will see ourselves around 10 as Cloud9 continues to clutch up down the stretch.
Don't count them out yet. Cloud9 keeping this one close. Here it is from Lacefield. Doesn't panic and uses reactive. I believe he's the one with it, so still have that ready to be used.
Now what's interesting here too is like this is one of those, a 5-2. I mean, I don't know where throw territory comes in, but when you lose with the 5-2 advantage,
5-2 is definitely throw territory.
It's going to shift very much potentially the momentum in this one if Cloud9 can keep it up. Now you did mention what Lacefield had reactive. I believe Watson very close to getting his camo as well.
This is what I wanted from Cloud9. They are now the ones taking map control because look on the eLevate scoreboard. 4 plants from Zed. That means every round they've been on offense, they've gotten a free plant with no contest from Cloud9. Now, forcing a little bit of different gameplay from eLevate. How prepared are they to go towards this different site? But Cloud9, they've got to react to this here soon as Reedy does actually bring back out the sniper.
We'll see if he's able to find anything to connect on, but it depends where they decide to hit. If they make the play towards A, it's going to be a lot on Lacefield. Now, quick rotation with the reactive to try and come up clutch if his team is getting pushed. It's Ricky playing, though, way in the back in Grave, and it doesn't look like they're going to rotate out with 40 seconds left. It looks like the hit is certainly going towards A. So as this starts to wind down, I mean, it's still Lacefield for me, and then also on the other side, Watson, if he gets that camo, can he make a play? Well,
here it goes. This round's going to go quite quickly from here. Objective still has to be planted. First engagement does go in favor of Ace.
Dead. Watson's dead.
That started to wake on up. Now the bomb, they have to focus on planting this objective to a certain point, and this will now put it in a 2v4 scenario with players moving around the site. Oh gosh, this is going to be tough to see. Reedy with no actual weapon because he has that sniper. 10 seconds remaining now. Bomb has been planted. Can eLevate hold off the Cloud9 push?
So the big thing here, you lose Watson first, didn't have the camo, you still have the reactive to work with, trying to push the back. It's going to be Reedy, can't get it done with a pistol, feeds one more to Ricky. Now it's on Zed. Can he make a play? Tries to slide and burn one, not able to do so, and Shawnee drops. No deaths for Cloud9. It's round 11, baby. This is what we live for.
Assault goes from 0-6 to 5-7. Aches from a slow 0-3 start. Now has begun to bring it back a little bit into this game with that first blood there for his team. Round 11. And eLevate now, after we start talking about the good 30 minutes for EU, might throw away this game.
I just cursed them. Oh my god, but that first kill from Aches, man, because if Watson wins that gunfight and he gets camo, that round goes completely differently. That ends up likely being an eLevate win.
Yep.
But now remember, you still, Lacefield with that reactive. And then Watson with the camo. They're the only two, I believe. Oh, sorry, Ricky's gotten it as well, but no one else on the side of eLevate's even close. Other than Watson. Let's see what they can do. Reactive, ready for Lacefield.
Gotta use this.
How does he make the play here? Hasn't spotted anyone yet. Does he push out the back? He saw the nade come in. Ooh. That was directly under his left foot.
Yeah, and now eLevate, they look to just muscle this one on out. 1 minute remaining. Cloud9 on offense in this round 11. Look at how tense this is. His players are so close to this arch. You just cannot get first blooded, and both teams know this. Trophy system down right in front of me. He actually doesn't.
Watson got his camo. Watson got his camo is the big thing here, though. And there it goes. He's going to push in. Watson tries to get him against Tag around the corner. Still able to win it, though, against the reactive. Finds the second. No, it's his team that gets the assist. Now it's Assault and Aches left in the round 11.
As they continue to push forward, Assault doing what he can in the 1v4, now 1v3, and he's cleaned on up. eLevate again, it's Reedy this time, closing out another map. And look at the difference right there. No camo ready for Watson. Lacefield is staring at a trophy system in front of him, throws a grenade at the trophy, gives Watson the camo. Watson then pushes forward, kills the reactive player, opens up the map for his team. A major blunder on the side of Lacefield.
I mean, I guess when you see him get hit with the Centauri as he comes through, you know, I thought things were going to fall apart for the camo player and Watson, but then I didn't see it from Lacefield's point of view. Obviously, we switched. That was great as the camo comes in, but you would think that's a gunfight Lacefield has to win as soon as he fires his gun, at least, because I mean, it took a while for Watson to take him down. That wasn't an easy gunfight by any means.
Watson also has to push through a Centurion as well. Crazy stuff from him. Wakes up from a slow start in that game to now have eLevate. It wasn't pretty, but they close it out in round 11. It's a 2-0 series lead for the Europeans over Cloud9. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, game number 3.
.2-0 advantage for eLevate over Cloud9. We were updated as well during the break that I believe it is now going to be a tied series, 1-1 between FaZe and Infused.
Well, you expect that, right? FaZe, they look so solid against Enigma 6. Maybe a little bit of a falter there against Infused. I saw people really hyping up Moose. Great to see he's continuing that solid performance from the CWL London event. Yeah. Now on over, because there was a lot of questions about him with no longer having that Synaptic combat rig. How's he going to perform? Right here, though, on the main stage, I checked Twitter for a second. I saw the Rambo Ray saying, just imagine what Aches would do if he comes back now, reverse sweeps in this series. The trash talk he will bring down would be next level.
I see him just like spearing Reedy off the
Please
stage.
Please don't say that. Please do not.
Oh, is that a legal issue?
We don't want violence.
I do. I really. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Violence. Kids at home.
For the sake of your job, Maven does not want that.
No, I hate violence. All right, so Precinct Uplink will be your game 3. Casted this one a little bit earlier today with FaZe versus Enigma 6, and you saw how you can really pin a team back alley.
I like the picture we have for Precinct. It's just the big side of a building.
Yeah.
That works.
There's buildings there.
Look at the picture of her score. Is that a chicken?
A robot chicken.
It's a robot chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's meta.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are now for the rig draft. eLevate Cloud9. Can Cloud9, your runners up at Vegas, come back here against eLevate, who, I'll be honest, I mean, they were basically kind of, what's interesting is I would say that eLevate, coming out of London and Vegas, I would say eLevate and Infuse were kind of viewed as your T2, right?
Yep.
T1 would be your Orbit Splice. So far, I mean, it's been eLevate, 3G, Infuse that are surprising us.
The one thing I will say, though, eLevate's weakest game mode from that last event that we saw them in at the CWL London event was uplink.
Okay.
So if there is an opportunity now for Cloud9, it is in this game mode with the longest respawn delay and respawns. 5 seconds. Can Cloud9 begin to mount the reverse sweep? Or do we see a third sweep now on the main stage to start the day?
All right, to be fair though, how many game 5s did we see for Cloud9 in Vegas? Was it 5 or 6, something like that?
A lot. That was how they got that far.
So you can't say it's impossible. You know, we've seen them get to that point so many times. I don't think it was really done in, you know, reverse sweep fashion. But if they can get the win here, this is a team you cannot count out from pushing that to a game 5.
I am excited. It's Precinct Uplink in game number 3. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the coverage of the CWL Atlanta Open presented by PlayStation 4. Throughout the weekend, we'll be providing coverage of the main stage matches as well as our Bravo, Charlie, and Delta setups in the venue. Already, thousands of spectators really coming on and players as well. Let's get into it though, game number 3.
Well, it's going to be Watson and Zed opening things up. A couple down for Cloud9, but Lacefield does have drone in hand, so it looks like he's just going to kind of toss that down. And now it's going to be Reedy as he picks up both inside a lobby. Their first push is going to be coming in. It's going to be through construction here, trying to find an angle. His teammates pick up everything, and this is an early 2-point dunk. eLevate looking good.
eLevate looking so dang good right now as they will get on the board first. Some awkward spawns, though, which I think they're not expecting. You saw players coming on up at Cherry Blossom there, won by Statue, and now already Cloud9, they're on the offensive. They've got everybody pushing forward with this drone. Thankfully, Shawnee, though, making some hero plays should stop the pressure for the moment. I believe there's one more player there to beat, and it's Watson with the 2-piece to swing the numbers in his team's favor.
Shawnee and Watson, a little bit of duo work there to shut down the push from Cloud9. No counter happening on their watch. Watson now trying to push in towards the cat statue here, see if he can get some shots in the back to open things up for his teammates. And we'll see a lot of our gunfights, you know, when you're fighting around the drone, this is where everything's going to go down here, right? At the statue, trying to get control, trying to open things up to push towards ticket booth, push to back apartments. So far, no one able to get control over this period.
Not at all, and we're only a minute and a half into this. So let's talk about Cloud9 and their strengths from the last event and what worked so well for them. Obviously, the slaying power of Lacefield and Assault. There goes the 1-point throw. That will auto-reset. There's a very slim margin on that throw that you can actually hit. There, just a little bit off to the left, I believe, which stops that one from going on, and it will auto-reset towards middle. Woo! And Reedy is just
Reedy
right now.
There's one more for him, trying to get to the edge. His teammate picks it up, and Shawnee, where are they going to spawn? So they'll spawn in a range. They should be able to maybe cut this off and make it a 1-point throw. They do. So no dunks going to come in. But Reedy with a huge 3-piece there and score. He is looking very, very good here so far.
And he's just locked in. It's one of those things where he hears that trash talk. You know he does. And now it's motivated him. A missed 1-point play, and that was a theme we saw back at the CWL London event, was the European teams botching those 1-point opportunities. There is one there. So instead of it being a 4-0 lead, now 3-0. Watson going to be the lead blocker for his team. He's got 2 players now beginning to push. First blood for eLevate. There's a second kill as well. This should be a dunk. Now about to be 5-0 unless Aches has something to say about it. Not going to happen. Shawnee with the play. eLevate in full command.
It's so different than what I casted for the FaZe Enigma 6. Every single point in the game was put up when pushing, you know, through ticket to get it there on the mid street. We didn't see any aggression at all towards back apartments. So if you're new to this game and maybe even watching Alpha throughout the course of the day, you can see you can get it done from both sides. It takes patience, it takes control, but you're seeing eLevate get it done.
And what do we see off the start of both of these games so far in the respawns for Cloud9? 2 players, double negative. Not what you want. Aches getting a little flashy there with the drone. Throws it to his opponent, gets that kill, spins back around, and finds the 2-piece. Watson and crew trying to hold off this top station area, which right now it does look like they're going to be able to do so. Smart challenge there. 3 go down for Cloud9. It's Lacefield last alive.
I think they thought they were going to be able to hit the edge there, but Watson, I think, pushed through mid tarps there, gets him behind and gets 2 kills before they're actually able to wrap. You got to clear that before trying to make a play. When we saw FaZe succeed a lot in their first game, they had somebody controlling tarps in that little section of mid-street. The other 3 were hitting ticket over and over and over again. Got to clear it all before you're trying to push forward with the drum.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward scenario there for Zed, as you thought he was going to get the entry kill for his team. Instead, doesn't wind up working out. Cloud9, they're going to continue to pressure towards this side, which is absolutely the right play. But you can see Assault playing so timid towards that lower street. They have no idea where eLevate are setting up in these different corners. And they're continuing to punish Cloud9 for not having that map positioning. They're I think Cloud9 need to make the play to slay out a little bit more before they try to push that drone forward. Have your player drop it, get control of top station before you try to make a play happen.
That's kind of uplink 101 for Infinite Warfare, right? Yep. You have to slay out first because you're going to have to go through multiple rotations.
Here's a tough throw again. Does he hit it this time around? You got to get it right over those two roofs. There it is. You see, there is literally a crack of an area that you can throw it over. Beautifully done there. 6-1 now with 3 possessions.
So if you're, maybe an up-and-comer, aspiring amateur player at home, if you haven't seen that shot, practice that one. It's not easy. You've seen it fail once. You've seen one get through. Definitely one of the trickier shots here in Infinite Warfare, but able to put it in. And this is a 6-1 advantage for eLevate. And I guess with what you said about, how you saw eLevate play uplink in London and how...
Yep.
I expect the Cloud9 from this side to come out much stronger.
Now, this is the worry too, is yes, Precinct has become a little bit more of a even between the two sides, right? From how preferred it was back at the start of this game, with how the portal changes have come into play. I would still put eLevate now going into the side where you expect most scores to come in, which is pushing towards the top station side. So this could spell disaster for Cloud9. They're now 5 minutes away from getting 3-0'd by the European squad.
And they would be 1-6 so far in map count. I mean, they only took, the game 1 over Luminosity? So it's not like you even have, you're going the distance to game 5s like Vegas, and maybe you can find certain spots where you look good, certain spots where you struggled. It's just going to be nothing but critiquing right now from a negative side when you're not able to really take any maps.
Well, here we go. Shawnee still having a monster series at 18-9. We're watching eLevate as they're now finding themselves 5 minutes away. Can they do it? They just need to close it on out. First couple kills going in favor of Cloud9, and this is already great pressure for the C9 team. They're going to move towards construction. Assault has 2 lead blockers. This could be the first dunk on the board for C9, and as all the looks of it, they'll settle for a 1. Now back within 4.
Yeah, you definitely had a dunk available there, but they take the point. Now, the number 8 at mid-map, I believe, is Aches. He was going to be fighting for the drone, but he actually gets picked up on your kill feed by Shawnee. So that's going to... This is so similar to what we saw, but in the flip, right? Yep. You see an early score from one team. The counter, though, the counter works for eLevate. They're able to get it done. Aches doesn't win the one-on-one gunfight there on drone. They do what Cloud9 couldn't do on the flip.
And look, eLevate there, even with not a ton of map positioning and kills, go for the shorter route just to get an easy throw on the board. They realize that Cloud9 were all set up inside station and ticket, so what do? You wind up taking the drone, move it through this ATM hallway right here, and go for the throw from the 18-wheeler, 7-2. Now 4 minutes away from this 3-0 over Cloud9.
Okay, well, let's see what Zed can do here at mid-street. You see some players on X-ray. The combination of the car and the nade there sends Lacefield to heaven, and not able to gun the second, though, as Ricky will get the better of him in that gunfight. It's Reedy inside. You got to think, how deadly is the E-Rag going to be? Or seeing the K-Bar really at that range. When you're fighting inside a lobby, like, the E-Rag's going to be a menace really in there.
So good. Little team kill there from Watson. Awkward body stacked near the statue, but hey, every second that goes by favors eLevate at this point. And look again, you have one player getting crafty on this flank at Shawnee this time around. Awkward timing versus Lacefield, though, as his team is still just buying themselves time near the statue side.
Well, let's talk a little bit more generally here. What do you think is going wrong for Cloud9 this particular game? When you're looking at uplink, what have they been doing wrong for you?
Right now, one, they're obviously getting outslayed with all 4 players negative, but the other thing for me is that these kills haven't been coming in eLevate's face. There has not been a time yet where I have felt confidently that they can go for a dunk. There's an interception from Reedy as he'll grab this drone and move it back towards this middle map area. As it's just gameplay that is not working in favor of Cloud9 at the moment.
It really hasn't. And Reedy going to be playing a little bit of a sneaky spot here inside the lobby. It's a little bit of pass back and forth. Finally going to end up dropping Ricky there. Able to trade the kills. Aches will get one as well. And you have to start them out to come back now because you don't really have as much of a rally opportunity from this side as you do when pushing towards station.
And here's the kills I'm talking about. In the base of eLevate, perfect. There's the dunk, but they need, look, they're stalling on time. They know they have no pressure in your lobby. They've got to send 2 players back there. These next couple engagements could decide this game for me.
And it's going to be Lacefield inside. He knows there's one in behind. Another pushes in. He's able to find it. Has a little bit of help in behind as well. There's 2. There's one more just playing their life so perfectly. He said, screw it, I'm sick of this. Moves on out. But who is it? It's Reedy being so annoying. Trying to chase him, I think, from behind. Maybe get the shot through. And he misses the 1-point toss. That would have made it a 1-possession game.
And now instead it will remain a 3-point game. You've got eLevate pushed all the way up. Zed is here trying to stop Cloud9 moving out of their base. Thankfully for C9, they do chain together a 2-piece, so...
But how sick was that from Reedy to stay alive that long behind the block?
Insane, and now he's on a 4 streak as well. I mean, the guy still hasn't died, so... Continuing to stay alive, Shawnee. Jeez, this guy is impressive. 26-17. Now they're going to push forward for a dunk. Cloud9 already. Fort Reedy still alive. 9-4 the score now. Oh my goodness, we not see Cloud9 lose 3-0?
It's looking that way right when you thought the comeback might be coming in. Reedy and Shawnee combined for some disgusting kills, and now they're pinned at 3 for Watson. Give him more. You see the pressure coming in from mid-street. Surely there should be a dunk coming in any moment here, Jack.
Director, please have a camera ready on Reedy after this game. I want to see what the guy does. This is going to be a 3-0 sweep. eLevate are going to take down Cloud9, and folks, that puts Cloud9 at 0-2 in their pool.
Your second place finishers from Vegas may not even be getting top 2 in their pool.
Wow.
It started. Insanity here early for Pool C. And yeah, I'm excited too, man. I gotta see what Reedy's gonna do. But this is, I never thought that this match was gonna have so much emphasis.
Another interception.
I thought they'd both be 1-0 and it'd be an important game. 0-1 makes it even scarier, man.
Yeah, and now Cloud9 will have their backs against the wall in the pools. Remember, they're not eliminated if they don't get the top 2, but they'll start from the championship losers bracket.
Reedy's already got his earbuds out.
Oh, he could not be happier right now. eLevate show up for Europe. And this time around, they get the better of Cloud9. This one is done. Let's just go to the players. I want to see what they're doing right now because this game is over. Congratulations to eLevate. They'll get their first series win in their pool.
Yeah, you saw, I mean, it was a solid 25, 30 seconds left of the game, and Reedy was already standing up, telling the guys, good job. They get the win. You know, there's one thing, get up. It certainly feels good. You got to wonder if this puts, you know, Aches and crew maybe on tilt a little bit, as that's a very frustrating start for the North American squad.
Yeah, Aches does not look happy, and ooh, I don't see any intentions of some GGs going there between the two teams. He's just going to pack up his bag and maybe head on out.
He's treating it like business as usual. eLevate, you know, it kind of looks the demeanor. They expected to win. They get the win. Is that, I mean, that's our most impressive win, you say, for an EU side thus far. I mean, a 3-0 over Cloud9, that's incredible. Yeah, and they're going to continue to move on through. Now the storyline shifts in this pool. Pool C, where you thought it was going to be Cloud9 and Luminosity moving on through. Now all signs pointing towards a potential eLevate Luminosity?
eLevate LG probably being our two teams. Don't forget about 3G. Last update we heard, they were up 1-0 in their series as well. I'm sure we'll have more developments on there. But for the most part, folks, that definitely sends things into limbo now for this pool.
And maybe if you haven't been following Twitter or following, you know, the scene closely, the reason this was interesting for me was not only, I guess, the Aches versus Reedy, but also, you know, Aches was very strong about the seeding that the teams got. The fact that Splice and Orbit ended up getting top 2 seeds, and they lead 2 of the pools. He didn't feel like they deserved it. That was kind of shared by some people. I understand that, but the reason he felt that way is he didn't want to see, I guess, any free rides for European teams into those top 2 spots. There aren't any, and if there was one, it's in your pool, buddy. Yeah. And so far, man, it is Reedy and co. and the European side getting it done. That's sick.
Yeah, you saw there Reedy getting ready for his interview with Mr. X on the main stage. Still to come, I believe, another major European matchup on the main stage after this will be Orbit versus Envy. I see it getting all set up. 6 of our 8 Call of Duty Championship grand finalists now matching up here at the CWL Atlanta Open. We've already seen Splice to come later on today on the main stage. We now just saw the likes of eLevate. Now, Orbit will be next, so our top 3 from the CWL London event will play on the main stage on day 1 here at CWL Atlanta Open.
Yeah, and I'm sure once we get to the studio, they're going to be kind of breaking down. We talked about the other match. It was Phase and Fuse, tied up 1-1. A lot of close matches going down. 3G looking to, they took the first map off of Luminosity. So a lot of these matches very, very tight, which we'll get updates to you guys soon. But for the rest of the day, is there one match you're looking forward to the most? Is it that final match to close out the night?
I mean, Orbit Envy, wondering how Orbit bounced back after a 3-0 loss to United earlier on. United making
wasn't
that little
close
tweet.
Either. Really.
Saying, oh, we brought our online now to LAN. So that's their whole goal, is to prove that they can not only do this online, but now on LAN as a squad. Orbit, they need to show that they have the ability to bounce back after a tough loss, because you think of something like the CWL London event, they cruised right on through. The only series they lost was the first best of 5 in that grand final. Then they do bounce back with a 3-0 second grand final series victory to take that event.
All right, guys. Well, I know we all want to hear what he has to say. We're going to have Reedy on the floor with Mr. X.
Thank you, guys. Obviously, you know, Reedy, it's a big match for you guys coming in here against Cloud9. Let's start off, though, your first match. You guys lose to 3G. What did you guys talk to as a team between this match?
After we lost to 3G, we knew we wasn't playing to our best. We're one of the most nastiest hardpoint teams in the game right now, and we just had no vibes, no hype. It was like 3-day break from traveling over. We didn't get to scrim yesterday, but no excuses. They played well, and congrats to them. I hope they don't do what they did at Gfinity and make an upset in a group and still place top 6. So.
Yeah, 3G's, I think, a team a lot of people overlooked. I saw them at London. They were very good there. But you guys come into this one, you take the hard point, no questions asked. The search and destroy. I watched you guys at Gfinity. You guys go up 5-2. You guys blow that game. Did shades of that come back in the second map here?
No. After Gfinity, we didn't play hardpoint or uplink at all. We just went home and played S&D. So we've been working on it. Hopefully it's up to my standard. I know we nearly choked it again, but we're still working on it, but I wasn't worried at all.
And then now, you and Aches, you guys have exchanged words over the last few months, whatnot. What does this do for your rivalry coming in here, getting a big win?
There's no rivalry. He's just not good enough.
Okay, well, that's a pretty bold answer. Guys, we're going to go to a quick break. Right after this, though, we'll have Orbit against Envious.